I think it's time for an update video. Let's go over where these trucks are at and where our new shop is. All right, this is the biggest update, obviously, on this truck. Our new X15 engine is now placed in there. What is really cool is that this showed up when we were down at Con Expo in Vegas, and we got to attend the Cummins event where we got invited to an event at Cummins. And we thought it was really cool because it showed up that day, and on the engine nameplate, it actually says Edison BDE, which they put that on the nameplate. That is our engine, and obviously that's a pretty funny thing to put on an engine nameplate, but it is now here. What we are doing right now is we got some test hoses that we're putting in here. You guys remembered we went up to Red Ram a month or so ago, and they just gave us a bunch of air tubes. So we can test this out. Once we have the exact sizes and lengths using common off-the-shelf tubes that we could find anywhere, we'll then be able to just go out and order those. Rather than trying to speculate and order, we got a big box. We've just been mocking them up, making sure it all works. And then we will go out and order the proper ones brand new, and then we don't have to waste money doing this time or get custom hoses bent. We can just find ones that work. So honestly, I'm pretty excited to see this engine in here. The transmission is also now mounted. A little update on cab interior. We got our wiring harness done on the back. They've been testing some of the gauges and all that on a test bench. For that, we got our shifter in there. We got to get our knob on. We've got to put our heating box in there. That's all arrived. That's the S-bar stuff. You guys remember, we also met at the trade show. That is now here with all that, so we're installing this. We got our flooring in here. Show what he wanted. He's like, oh, put it in like a nice wood flooring. We tried to go with actual like hardwood flooring because some of those show trucks have real nice hardwood flooring. We have to do a flammability test though. It has to meet FMVSS and CMVSS requirement for flammability. So this material was the stuff that we could find that passed that test. So not quite as nice as hardwood, but I still think it looks pretty good for a manufacturer. Probably takes a fair bit of time to put this in, so I don't think that's gonna be a stock option for all the trucks is what we're doing. But for Joel's truck, on a very first truck, I like it. It's what he wants, it's what we'll do. There's a couple extra cool features like the Starlight roof, but yeah, the cab is looking pretty good at this point. Really, the last few things to do are run the last little bit of wiring harness when it gets in here for the cab, put the headliner in there, put the shift knob in there, connect the last few air gauges, and then this cab is done. The rims are here for Joel's truck, the Royal Winch Tractor. You guys remember we went to Montreal, we ran into this company, W Star, and I like their design of their layout and the holes on this truck. Instead of having these holes in your rims located in the middle, which gives you a lip, they're located farther down. On a normal rim, if you have that little bit of a lip in there, the mud can gather right in this section here. With this hole being farther down and this being curved in, it allows that mud to flow out of the rim. We'll get this on the truck and we'll see how that actually works in real life in the field now. Things are going pretty good. We got about 2 weeks now until DJ, the owner of Royal Oilfield, is gonna come out here, give this thing an inspection. We're hoping to have our front hangers on, but we got one in there. They're still being made, like I said before. Waiting on parts is always the biggest delay on things. Fingers crossed they'll have those done, and the rest of them done in a couple weeks. Get them on there. The side steps are being made right now. We got parts of it there. We're just waiting on the last few parts, and hopefully he likes this truck. And we've given ourselves a timeline of he's gonna come out in 2 weeks. He's gonna have a look at things. We're gonna make any changes that we need to make or that he wants us to modify, make those changes in the next 2 weeks, and then hoping 4 to 6 weeks, we will have this out at Marcep getting its Texas bed rig up. So for the MCon truck, people have been wondering what's going on with that. This thing is becoming a snow plow. MCon was supposed to put the body on, but we missed our deadline. We were so busy with the relocation, moving here, waiting on some parts, getting it ready, that we did not get this truck to MCon in time. They're super busy with all their winter maintenance, so we will get this back to them here next summer. But in the meantime, I mean, silver lining in every cloud, we've been able to use this thing as a big test bench here. We've been able to test out a lot of things. When we were doing all that driving with the undisclosed truck, we learned a lot. we delivered that to the customer, and now we've been able to be using this one for a lot of the things. So we got a couple big examples. We've been able to reduce our battery pack. There used to be 2 batteries back here under the sleeper, taking up a lot of room. We've now been able to free up that real estate, and free up that weight. We just didn't need that many batteries, and it's been working fine with the reduced batteries. We've also made some big changes to, my favorite ones are, we've reduced and gotten rid of 3 extra high voltage components. We have gotten rid of the high voltage power steering pump, we've gotten rid of the high voltage air compressor, and we've gotten rid of the high voltage fans off of the engine. All 3 of them, they need high voltage wires, they need extra communication. We have simplified this design down a fair bit, and we ran into some reliability issues. For example, I was not happy with that power steering fault. In 2 months, we had 2 faults on that power steering, and when it had a fault, it ripped the wheel out of my hand, like it kicked the wheel. No, I'm not dealing with that. That's a safety issue. That's not going out there, and I apologize. I should have thought of this before, and I'm kicking myself now because it's a much better design. These engines already have air compressors and power steering pumps. It's one assembly. You have an air compressor in the front, power steering module that goes onto the back, and then is driven with a gear-driven shaft in the front. So instead, what we can do is, I can still have one on the engine for redundancy, backup, making sure that it's always on, but I can also just take that assembly that's available off the shelf everywhere and have one electric motor just driving a gear. And it's just a simple on-off. When the engine's not running, the truck fires that up and runs that one for when you're running on electric mode. It's so much simpler and easier than having these separate things that are computer controlled and sense your steering and how hard you're turning, and there's just too many computers, too many failure points. I'm taking it back to a much simpler design that, we shouldn't have listened to some of our suppliers at the start. They're like, oh, this is how you do it, and this is how you have your electric power steering, electric this and that, and don't worry, it's great, this is the better way, it's more efficient. You know what, I'm gonna take a reliability and ease of maintenance, ease of install. They make rebuild parts for them that you can just buy, you have things, it's back to our core philosophy. I think it's a lot better designed. And this is also why we're not going to full production. Like the mechanical truck that we're building there with the 18 speed, that's a proven technology. I can go there, I don't have to refine anything because I know that 18 speed's gonna work, that power steering pump's gonna work, everything is simple. This way, there's a few more things like this that we may have to figure out. Thank God we didn't have 400 trucks in the field. We had 2 trucks, and we're changing those trucks and experimenting on them. And then next design I think is gonna be a lot more reliable. And in addition, the high voltage fans, we just didn't need them. We found out, you're like, man, you do most of your sucking when you're trying to cool the engine. And when your engine is working in your generator, it means you're taking a lot of power out of it. So if you're taking a lot of power out of your drive motors, that means that you're probably also running your generator, because if you're using that much power that you're heating everything up, you're probably also running the generator to recharge your batteries. So if the engine side is getting warm, the engine fan can be running. And then on the front here, because we have a little bit of extra space, that side for the engine has your charge air cooler and then your radiator. This side just has an EV radiator. So I can just go and put some 12-volt engine fans and they'll work as a pusher fan. So if the EV side alone is getting hot, those 12-volt pusher fans will help push air through. And then if it's getting hot everywhere, the puller fan off the motor back here is going to help suck that air through. So we don't need these couple $1,000s worth of EV fans that are high voltage and run high voltage, just 12-volt fans on the front, other ones on the front, and that should be more than enough. Those high voltage fans were they were overkill. We didn't need them. Less high voltage components, less computer controlled parts, the simpler it is, it'll just go off the engine. So overall, we have learned a lot in doing some of this testing and design, and we have a lot better truck for it. So yeah, kind of sucks that we were so busy we didn't make our deadline, but we got a much better truck for it now. This is a huge update again on terms of production manufacturing. So far on that undisclosed truck and the MCON truck, we have had our own test harness, which is a harness we just pinned out ourselves, connect in, make sure everything works, make sure that everything is connected, make sure that it's going together. From there, we were able to use Arcadia, that software, to walk through and then build a proper harness. Now, we were able to send that off to Harness Master, which we now have our professional wiring harness right there. It's nice, they sent us off this test data report. On there, it says Edison under cab dash harness with a part number on the harness. They send us all the testing one. I grabbed a real simple one. All the test data, all the information on what's on there, so you know that this harness is good to go. There we got it. That is to plug in the computer system that controls a lot of the EV components. But that is it. We don't have to home make this anymore. We can just go in, order a part. It shows up a few weeks later, and that means in the future, if this truck's on the road and they have an issue with the wiring harness, which it happens, there's no way you can avoid having issues. It's now just a part number. We can have this in stock and they say, hey, I need this wiring harness under the dash. Okay, it's this part number. I run onto the shelf, I grab one of these, I ship it off to the customer. I don't have to pin out a million wires and have the issues that come with that. So this is, as far as production manufacturing, this is a huge, huge step up in the company, because building those wiring harnesses by hand took weeks and weeks and weeks of labor and pinning. Now we're just letting the professionals do it. I wanted to go over some updates in the shop here because we are making some serious progress. Rob down there has been working super hard. He's been laying out all these trenches so that the electricians come in. They've been laying the conduit down the trenches, putting up their electrical panel boxes so we can get some power into this shop, which means then we can start putting up some lights, some fans. Then we got about a month or so after we get that, the door guys are going to come in, start putting in the doors. And the biggest thing, in addition to the trenches of progress we have made, is we got that 3/4 inch crush on here now. We brought it up to the grade. The biggest delay is still going to be this. We got snow. If you can't tell, there's about that much snow outside. You cannot pour the concrete slab with the snow, because basically what happens is you can't pack ice. If you had it level right now, that ice melts, it'll subside, your concrete slab breaks. We're not gonna take that risk. We are just gonna wait, like they recommended, for a couple of months of above freeze. So once this snow melts, we wait a couple months, we get above that temperature, then we can pour a concrete slab. But Rob is already getting things ready, because that guy wastes no time. He got our rebar ready to go. So we got our doors up, electrical on, fans, lights, everything. We'll do a final big pack. We will pack the hell out of this, and then we'll just take these, lay them out, and we'll get that concrete in. So it's going pretty well. My big hope is that by this summer, we will have this shop ready to go, and that's the big thing that we need next in that production, so that when this shop is done, concrete slab is here, we can start getting some trucks rolling. We'll need the parts, so we have launched our investment raise again. It is on our website. Make sure you read all the disclaimers and everything. But our big goal is to, now that the shop is getting to the stage of being ready, we are gonna order a bunch of parts and inventory, axle hangers, cross members, frame rails, and we are gonna stock up on trucks. So that way, when this shop is done, slab is there, electrical's hooked up, all the toolboxes are in, we're not waiting around at that point. So I'm pretty excited. This is the perfect time, and I just can't wait to see this thing into production. So really appreciate all your support, guys. For the investment, I just wanted to point out that the only place that you can invest is on our website, edisonmotors.ca. Make sure you are aware of scams. I will never reach out to you via DM or any other link. Go to the website, edisonmotors.ca, follow the relative links. And our lawyer said that we should put in this disclaimer, so I'm gonna just read this because I'll screw it up. This video is for entertainment and informational purposes only. Before investing, you should carefully review Edison's current offering memorandum, which is available through our website, including all risk factors described there within. Participation in this offering is not available to all investors. Please consult the investors page on our website and speak with your legal and financial advisors to determine your eligibility and whether an investment in Edison securities is appropriate for you. There.